we can take it forward. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Registrar of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, I take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this continued medical education program webinar organized by RGHS through the ECHO Foundation. I welcome Dr. Shashibhushan, the speaker, and I take this opportunity to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to deliver his opening remarks. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir.
Very good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Very good afternoon. And Dr. Shashibhushan from our university, Dr. Mahendra, Dr. Dayan, and everyone who was associated with this important webinar program for educating the healthcare workers and public. And this is a very good topic. Our friend Dr. Shashibhushan is a well-known pulmonologist from Bangalore Medical College. He is going to talk about how to combat the third wave of COVID. He is also there in the Karnataka State COVID Task Force. He is the member there, and it will be a very useful program for everybody. And please utilize this important program so that you can contribute to the society and people in large. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Dayanand to conduct the proceedings.
Yes, now over to Dr. Shashibhushan. Dr. Shashibhushan?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Jaikar Shetty, sir, for having this opportunity. Gautam, can you share the screen?
Sir, you can share the screen, sir.
Are my screens visible? Screen visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay, fine then. Today's topic, I will be talking on strategy to prevent. Basically, what we are talking is the coming third wave. So at the level of how to prevent at the level of transmission from the healthcare and the public point of view, how it has to be done. Yeah. Before I go into the details of what are the strategies, we will revisit on the virus. Regarding the size of the virus, you know the size of the virus, it's between 20 to 300 nanometers. It comes in various shapes like rod, spherical shape, can cause common cold, influenza and SARS. So you know about the bacterial size also. It comes in about 0.5 to 5 micron. So you need to know the difference in size. The size of the virus is about 300. It's in nanometers. The bacteria is in microns. The protozoa is in microns, the fungi is in microns. So our here is what we need to know about the virus comes in the size of 200 to 300 nanometers. So brief review of the coronavirus. There are about 39 species of coronavirus what is available right now. Currently 6 human coronavirus has been conferred and which is causing, which falls under as alpha and beta coronavirus. And the most important what we are going to the present pandemic is causing is of SARS-CoV-2, which comes under beta coronavirus. When it comes to structure of the SARS-CoV-2, how it is? Basically, it belongs to a group of RNA virus. It's an enveloped double-stranded RNA virus. It consists of 4 structural proteins. The E is the envelope, M is the membrane, S is the spike, and N is the nucleocapsid protein. Amongst these, the N and S are more important. The N helps in forming the capsid, whereas the spike protein helps in the attachment of the virus to the host cells. So this is very important. If you need to listen to these important things, what I'm stressing. Basically, during the SARS-CoV infection, the receptor binding domain of the spike protein, which directly binds the ACE receptors in the humans. That's how it gets into the human body. And the strategies what being approached are a simplest and the most direct approach to combat SARS-CoV would be to neutralize the virus from entering the cells, as this has been utilized in the previous viruses of its kind. So at the level of entry is the strategy. And coming back, the SARS-CoV is about 125 nanometers in diameter. It never enters as a naked virus, but it floats in the air, or when it is released by people when they cough, breathing, talking, it is released as a droplet, water droplets or aerosol. So when it is released as a droplet, this droplet consists of water, mucous protein, and other biological material. From 125 nanometers, it forms to a size of 1 micron. So that is how it is. It never comes on its own or a naked virus. It forms as an aerosol. So these droplets, they further increase their size to about 5 micron. From 1 to 5 micron is the size of the virus as an aerosol. So that's how it enters the body. And however, droplet size of less than 1 micron stay as aerosol, and they die on their own, and they last for about 3 to 8 hours. Coming to the present situation, what is the budget allocation and expenditure for the government of India for the present pandemic is, this is on February 2021, the central government has allocated almost 2,23,846 crores. That is almost 137% increase from the previous year, and about 35,000 crores exclusively for the manufacturing of COVID vaccines, and 2,663 crores for research purpose. So I just want to highlight why I have mentioned here. As you know, in the coming slides, the government of Karnataka again has allocated 11,900 crores for the health and family welfare budget, which is 4% from the previous year. And they are setting up ICUs at the district hospitals, which is costing about around 60 crores. Recently on June 7th, again 1,500 crores has been allocated for the upgradation of all taluk and district hospitals. Just a brief note on the statistics as of today. India as of today has got 3 crores 13 lakhs 4,445 cases who are positive, and death is about 3,93,310. That is about 1.31%. And death per million is 282 per million. When it comes to China, they are not telling the statistics or revealing the statistics. They keep changing the statistics. When you go to the WHO website or WHO, what is the statistics of China? It is wrong. They try to reduce on a daily basis. From a source, what we got, it says that China till date has got just 1,14,929 cases, and there are about 5,154 deaths only amongst the 1 lakh cases, and deaths per million is 3 deaths. When it comes to US, again, it is the worst affected country after India. So US is about 3 crores 44 lakhs odd cases, and the deaths till date is 6 lakhs. Their death rate is very high, and deaths per million population is 1,858 per million. So as a whole, the world, almost 18 crores are affected, out of which 39 lakhs are died, and deaths per million is about 502. Why China is having a very less number of cases, number of deaths, and deaths per million, we need to know. So for that, we have a 3-pronged approach how to prevent. So basically, what strategy we are looking at is prevent the entry of the virus. The strategy is such a way that, because you're seeing a lot of patients who become sick or with comorbidities are getting hospitalized. So the problem, once they get into the hospital, severe cases don't survive. So our strategy is to prevent the entry of the virus. We need to have a strategy so that the entry itself is prevented. Whatever this, the entry level only, it should have a protective mechanism, and whatever that mask. So masking, what we are going to suggest should have a disinfection of the mask very easily. So for a masking, so behavior of the masking is very important. So people must get to know how mask helps in prevention of transmission of COVID and what are the types of masks, because everybody is telling you wear a mask. So nobody is trying to tell how you need to wear, what type of mask, how to wear them, when do you want to go for a double mask, how to dispose them. Nobody is telling very clearly things on that. So sometimes some people don't believe that they need to wear a mask. You can see problem is they don't have a mask and they don't know whether how important is a mask. So for them, convincing a non-believer that masks are essential is very important. So we need to communicate the benefit of mask wearing. Say if in a community, if a community, whole community is wearing a mask, if there is a reduction in number of cases, that itself is a good information saying that mask, how important a mask is. So we need to create a positive social norm when we are wearing a mask. So that's one important. The stigma of wearing a mask should be removed. People are more likely to practice wearing mask when everyone else is practicing it. So we need to enforce correct method of masking properly. That's very important. And how to do that? Basically, we have to see that all our leaders, the sports person, the film actors, politicians at various level need to promote and spread the awareness of using a mask. So coming back to the how to go about, you know the size of an atom is about 0.1 nanometer and the size of a sand is more than 1 millimeter. So there are certain strategies regarding how to prevent the entry of the virus. See here, this slide, what we are showing is between 100 to 300 nanometers, the entry is prevented by diffusion mechanism. Between 300 to 600, the entry is prevented by inertial impaction. Anything above 300, 600 is the interception of the mechanism. So most of you know what are the types of masks. I'll just brief on these. There are masks which comes as elastomeric respirator, which is fitted with a cartridge or a filter. So this cartridge can be reusable. So we know but is not advised. There are N95 masks, which most of you know, surgical mask, cloth mask. I will go into details of in the coming slides. Like so, there are, we need to know about is what are the types of masks and filtration capacities. So FFP2, what you see on the mask, especially in the N95 mask, is the filterable phase piece 2. That's what FFP2 mentioned. Basically, it is the European standards. And this prevents 94 filtration capacity, whereas N95 is from the US, and this is a non-oil type. N95 is a non-oil type. It has a filtration capacity of 95%. Each country has named their mask in a different way as per the standardization. In China, it is KN95, Australia and New Zealand, it is P2, Japan, it is DSFR, first class in Korea. There's something called as FFP3, which can prevent up to 95% of the size of the particle. The WHO also mentioned the use of mask, but it only tells that it should have a high filtration, adequate breathability, and optionally a fluid penetration resistance. But it never mentioned what types of mask you need to use. So there are mask, a medical mask filtration tests are also performed on a cross section of the mask to know the how the efficacy of the mask is. It only tells, but it never mentioned what are the types you need to know. I am just going to the details of various masks and how it looks electron microscope. N95, a melt blown. I will tell you details of the layers of the mask in the coming slide. A melt blown, which is PPN95. You can see in various materials in a polished
Gautam, is there a problem?
Yes, sir. We are facing some technical issues, sir. He is joining, sir, back.
Dear participants, I apologize for the technical error. We'll be back online shortly. I apologize for the technical error. Gautam, is the issue being resolved?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Gautam, why don't you call Shashi and find out if there is something?
Joining, sir. I called him. Sir is joining, sir.
Gautam, can you share the slides?
Sir.
No, you need to keep changing the slides.
Gautam, ನೀವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡಿ.
Okay, sir. Can you send me the slides, sir?
Yeah. Gautam, did you get the slides?
Sir, yes, sir. 2 minutes, sir. I will share.
Yeah.
May-
Off mark. Keep going, keep going. Wait. Yeah. Next slide. Yes. This, no, go back. Yes, correct. You are right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry with the
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ
internet
ಇದೆ.
issues. Yeah. Sorry with the internet issues. Coming back again, this how electron microscope of the various material of the mass, what is being used, right? Next slide, please. Yeah, these are 3 layers.
Mute ಇದೆ unmute ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Gautam, you need to change the slide. Hello? Yeah.
Sir, yeah.
This is the N95 mask, what everybody knows. It comes in 5 layers or 4 layers. Here it is 4 layered. The outer layer is the non-woven polypropylene. Polypropylene is a chemical which very important, which prevents the entry of the virus. So the first and the second layer of the N95 is very important. That is, the second layer is the filter non-woven polypropylene melt blown. So that is one very important, which prevents the entry of the virus. This third layer is the support layer, mood acrylic, that is which gives the shape for the mask. So the fourth is the inner non-woven polypropylene. Polypropylene is again a chemical. So that is how it prevents the entry of the mask. On the electron microscope, you are seeing how a N95 mask of the non-woven polypropylene melt blown. So that is the second layer, which is the filtration layer, is seen here. Next slide, please. And this is the cloth mask. So the new design of the homemade cloth mask from the common fabric material, which is reproduced basically from the American Chemical Society. This is from one of the journal, which says that the entry of the aerosol is prevented by a mechanical filtration and electrostatic filtration. Next slide. All of us are wearing masks. You know about the mask. How the mask helps in preventing the entry of the filtration of the particles. So there are 5 methods of filtration. That is the gravity sedimentation, the interception, the inertial impaction, diffusion, and the electrostatic attraction. So basically, as you know, that gravity sedimentation, directly because of the weight of the particle, it gets come and collected in the on the mask. That's how it gets filtered. Next slide.
Today they have got.
The other the mechanism of prevention is by interception. Interception is large particle size of around 600 nanometers can be prevented. The inertial impaction is between the size of 300 to 600, and diffusion is about size which is less than 300 nanometers, and electrostatically charged. So what we will talk more about is the electrostatic attraction, that is the charged particle. Why I am going to tell about the electrostatic, the coming slides you will know. Next slide. Again, this basically the electrostatic attraction. It employs a electrocharged polymer or resin fibers that attracts both the large and small oppositely charged particle and trap them. So that's how the mechanism of electrostatic attraction happens, or how a virus can be prevented. Next slide. Yeah. What happens? Why we are talking about the electrostatic? Because the virus is also electrostatically charged, because it contains amino acid content. So any amino acid content, all the humans, everybody has got a static charge, electrostatic charges. So the virus also has got an electrostatic charge because of the presence of amino acid. The overall structural electrostatic charge of SARS-CoV-2 is positive. That is, again, when you go back and see that EMN protein, what we have already told is positive, whereas the S spike protein is negative, because again, the spike protein, the S1 and S2 subunit, the interior is positive, the exterior surface is negative. But as a whole, the virus is positively charged. So that is what we need to know. And this electrostatically charged, the distribution of the charge on the virus facilitate the infection for the entry. Hence, action on the charges can prevent the infection. That's what we need to know. Next slide. In physics, as already you know that the like charges on the mask repel the virus. Unlike charges on the mask capture the virus. The stationary electric charges on the mask attract and capture tiny particles of 0.3 micron particles, such as aerosol droplet containing virus. For this, the mask should be negatively charged as the virus is positively charged. So this is one strategy. What I would like to say is electrostatically charged masks are available. They are there. So if you start using this, probably we at the entry level, this is one way of preventing the entry of the virus. Next slide. I will tell you in the details in the coming slide. Again, how electrostatic forces and this one article which was done in way back in 1989 in one of the journals of separation and purification technology. They found out that any charged particles using a polyvinylidene fluoride by using a nanofiber mat. So it was found that a single fiber efficiency due to the charged particle was superior to than a non-charged. Next slide. Again, this article, it says, you can see this, the first, the A resin wool, which mentions that a charged particle, the prevention of the entry of the particle is 0.47, whereas an uncharged particle, the entry is up to 50%. They have proved that the effect of electric charges in the filtration material has a role in preventing the entry of the particle size of various sizes. You can say from nanometers to micrometers. Next slide. And once these once these electrostatically charged fibers are there, or filter materials are there, it can, how long it can last? We need to know that sometimes the life is can be up to several years, whereas it can the charge can go off. I think so. I got the connection here. I'll come back on the computer. 1 second.
Can you hear me, Gautam?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
1 second. The charge can last for longer time, but can also lose its charge when the temperature. Gautam, keep changing. Next slide. Yeah, there's something called, what everybody need to know is, we are going back and trying to know something from the textile industries or the physics part. What is the triboelectric effect? This is called as triboelectric charging. It is a type of contact electrification on which certain material becomes electrically charged. You would have seen by rubbing the two materials like nylon and a polyester, there could be some charges coming out when you rub two materials, and this once there is an increase in the contact between the surface, the effect of triboelectric effect is seen. So which can produce an electrostatic charge on the surface of the material. Next slide. these are some example which shows that basically what is being used is the nylon and polyester for the electrostatically. There are masks available in our country which has got nylon and polyester mask with a it's a basically a 3-layer, the nylon, polyester, and the nylon. So once they come in contact, they can produce electrostatically positive and negative charge. So here in the triboelectric effect, you're seeing the nylon produces positive charges, whereas the polythene or a polyester pen produces negative charges. So when they come in contact, automatically they can release both the positive and negative charges. Next slide. This again one article which shows that electrostatic charges generated on the polymer surface by a contrast electrification, that is polyethylene contacted with the nylon, can produce and reinforce the electron transfer mechanism of a contact electrification. That's what it shows. So there are various techniques available which can produce the electrostatic charges. Next slide. This how electro charges is being done. You take a syringe with polymer solution, and the needle, the tip of the needle is connected to a drum, whereas the other part of the needle is connected to a high voltage. And at the drum level, you can have a spinning effect, electro-spinning nanofiber, which can be formed on the drum. So these collected on the drum, you can form a which can be used for a as a one of the layers of the mask. Next. What is being again told is lot of studies have been done regarding the use of how electrostatic forces is helpful, and they have found out that it can filter up to 10 times better than a uncharged filters, thereby blocking the virus or the being entered onto the mask. They one study on the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee, they have found out that this system can be utilized in the N95 mask. So also possibilities, and the layer of melt, the polypropylene, which can produce 100 fibers at one time, can also be utilized, and they pass on through the charging surface and gets charged. So that's this one technique is being shown here. Next slide. Coming to the next strategy. So we have a 3-pronged strategy. One is the electrostatic charges. The mass should be electrostatically charged is one thing. The second thing is what is being, it's already there in use, only in few parts, where a mask has an antimicrobial property. So certain Indian medicinal plants are being used as an antimicrobial. These are incorporated into the cotton plant fibers. So they are processed, electrospinning process of the material is being used. They have formed their, one of the layers is being used to put on the mask, and it acts as a filtration process as in the mask. So that's how antimicrobial or antiviral property is being used. Next one. These are again what we know about this antiviral mask or which can prevent the entry of the virus, or it is a natural fiber used. The mask is infused with all natural active compounds with no known side effect. It also has an increased breathability due to surface area of the polymer. The filtration mechanism is unique composite non-woven structure infused with an active Indian medicinal plant as antiviral. What are the antiviral plants that is being used? Next slide. So there are compounds there. It's a 3-layered mask available. Antiviral masks are available. It's a 3-layered mask. The first layer consists of nimbolides or a eugene compound. So how much is the content is also mentioned. How much has to be used? This basically acts as an organic solvent. The second layer is curcumin. All of you know that the curcumin eucalyptus is also being used. The third layer is the basically the clarithin, which gives an aromatic smell to the mask. So all these have been tried, and they found out that it has got some antiviral. What they are trying to use, this antiviral spray is available. So you need to spray over the mask, basically the mask available, and this can be probably every 7 days it can be sprayed. It comes, this antiviral mask comes with a sprayer. Next slide. The third strategy is the nanofiber technology strategy. So what is this nanofiber technology? What it is basically, it improves the efficiency of the filter media. Nanofiber helps in improving the efficiency. It has got a low base weight, high permeability, small pore size, appropriate for filtration of naturally occurring nanoparticles, especially the viruses. The unique property of this nanofiber technology is it has got a high surface area per unit mass, about 1 to 100 square meter. It has got good interconnectivity of pores, enhanced capture efficiency, and it does not exit independently, but it should be produced on a substrate such as a non-woven fabric. Next slide. These nanofibers have been made with an as I told you that the antiviral property, you can use that antiviral property in the nanofibers and they can be spread on that. They destroy the microbes by releasing inactivating chemicals once they come into contact. The infused nanofibers can be assembled into mask for increased protection against the viral agents. Next slide. It could also retain the structure of the nanofiber membrane even after plenty of times. As I told you, is it can be washed and reused. So whatever is available in the present day is it can be washed and reused for 30 washes. That's what they say. And the antiviral spray can be should be sprayed every 7 to 10 days, and it is water resistant, and it is proved that 94 filtration efficiency even after a repeated wash of 20 times. The structure of nanofibers minimize air filter pressure and thereby enhances the filtration process. Next slide. There are certain mechanisms how a nanofilter media. I'll just read out. I will not go into the detail because it is off track. Basically, actually it's at the engineer level, so I will not get into the details. The mechanism what is being used is the surface staining, depth filtration, and cake filtration. These are some mechanism of filtration or how a nanofiber helps in preventing the entry of the virus. And the combination of the two mechanisms is the most important thing. So how do you form a nanofiber? The method of getting a nanofiber is by electrospinning. So how it basically helps from a normal mask is it has got more filtering efficiency, reduced mask airflow resistance, more exhaled air through the mask. That are the properties what we require. Next slide. I will not get into the details. I told you that these are the methods. If you can see on the right side of the slide, how it can prevent the entry of the size of the particles, various methods. So next slide. Basically, these again, what our intention are, these are breathability and filterability is two very important things what is required in a mask. Possibly to control these breathability and filterabilities are available in these nanofiber mask. It is possible to control these properties in situ when you have a nanofiber can be controlled by changing the size of the pores, can be controlled by changing the spinning of the nozzles basically, and that's how it prevents the entry. Next slide. This is how electrospinning looks like. So again, I was telling about in the previous one of the slides where how a filament is formed and how a these are how these two non-woven and oriented pattern of mask. It's one of the layers of the mask what is being prepared by using electrospinning method, and these layers are placed in the one of the as the mask has been formed. Next slide. These are again in an electron microscope how a mask look. That is the high aligned woven mats in a various cloth material. So this is how it looks, and the N95 what you're talking about or what you're using is consists of a melt blown, spun blown, hot cotton melt blown, spun bond. Again, the weight of the mask 25, 50. These are standard weights of the layers. Each layer, how much each layer should consist of. This is basically for the N95, which can have 4 to 5 layers. Next slide. Some of the technical features of the N95 and nanofiber mask. It is a low pressure drop for easy breathability. It can enable the capturing of the inhaled particle both for bacteria and viruses, and it is designed to provide protection up to 96 to 99 filtration capacity, and it has high efficient mechanical filtration. That's very important. On the you can see how a image of a nanofiber membrane looks like, and once it is formed into a layer, used as a layer, this mask can be formed in a way like this. Next slide. This is one important thing I would like you to know is how the interaction of the particulate matter with the nanofiber happens. On the first black nanofiber, there is no particulate matter here. But as the particulate matter keeps coming up, the particulate matter gets attached to the nanofibers. So as the number keeps increasing, it gets attached to the nanofibers so that it does not get inside the pores or this thing. Doesn't enter inside the mask. So all the particulate matter gets attached to the nanofibers and they become a thicker fiber. So you can see how this is how the mechanism of nanofiber works. Thereby, it does not allow the particulate, especially the nano sized particles, not allowing it to get inside. Next slide. Again, what are the available nanofiber masks with us today in the country is the banana fiber mask. This is again from the banana plantain. The nanofiber, using a nanofiber technology, the mask has been formed. And this is on the right side, what you are seeing is a banana fiber mask by a nanofiber technology. Next slide. What are the challenges we have? When you have this option, what are the challenges when we can come across when we suggest these things? So these are totally new. So investigation of the process and solution of the matters, because these are not easily available every day. We need to see that these nanotechnologies should be available at all centers where masks are formed, and reproducibility of the electrospinning process and the fiber diameters is what should be told to all these the manufacturers. The fabrication of the continuous electrospinning machine with a uniform deposition is very important. The use of reinforced nanofibers in fabrication for the application is also very important. The nanofiber machine, maybe it's quite expensive. The multi-jet spinning is what is being suggested. With a nanofiber, you can come out with a HEPA filter also. So that's another, this already there in the market. We are not aware of it. And maybe that would be very expensive. HEPA filter itself becomes expensive, but with just plain nanofiber technology, we can prevent the entry of the virus. Next slide. What are the available masks on nanofiber technology? In the Queensland University of Technology, they had manufactured a nanofiber mask by using a nanocellulose material that can remove particles smaller than 100 nanometers. Now that we know that the coronavirus is 300 nanometers. So when a particular size of 100 can be prevented, so the nanofiber technology will help us in seeing that the virus does not get in. So apart from the nanocellulose, what are the other materials which can be used to form nanofiber masks are the sugar cane, bagasse, banana fiber, as I already told. These are all basically biodegradable masks. So all from the agriculture waste product, it is being manufactured. So we need to revisit on this and come out with a nanofiber mask. Next slide. This is how one of the nanofiber technology masks from Gujarat. It is available. They have quoted up the price up to 250 per piece. So it is still not available. So this one availability, I'm trying to show it here, how it looks like. So the other one was a simple mask of a nanofiber technology. Next slide. And in Israel, they use a reusable antiviral mask, which was coated with zinc oxide and nanoparticles that destroys all three: bacteria, fungi, and viruses. They also found out, this is from Israel, one of the studies in Israel, factories which manufacture these, and they found out that it can prevent a diameter of 100 to 500 nanometers. They can manufacture up to 20,000 per mask. And they quoted the price of about $45 for one mask. Probably this will become expensive for us. There are ways which can cut down on the price also using the nanofiber technology. Next. Coming to why this topic was called for discussion, or for everybody to know, is everybody is trying to tell the use of mask, but nobody is trying to tell us what type of mask we need to know, because our hospital admission, hospital stay for the patient is very cumbersome when it comes to expenses, medical treatment. So the strategy of a mask should be effective at the level of preventing transmission. So that was the reason of revisiting and telling how important a mask, the various strategies. So we have a mask with an electrostatic charge. I think so we need to use that basically scientifically. What we are trying to tell is scientifically how a electrostatic charge mask can help prevent the entry of the virus. Then we have nanofiber technology, which has not been visited. Then the medicated mask, antiviral properties, and all these masks should be biodegradable. Whereas your N95 other masks are not biodegradable because it contains a chemical, polypropylene. So this nanofiber technology can be used in getting a N95 mask. So thereby, with the N95 type of mask, the nanofiber technology has to be used with the antiviral property. Probably all three would not be possible. A nanofiber antiviral would be one possible. The electrostatically charged mask would be a separate one. So this is just an eye-opening. What I am trying to create is a eye-opening part on how a mask, basically, scientifically, if you go ahead, this is the way of preventing the entry of the virus, rather than spending crores of rupees for the ICU bed, hospital stay, all those things. Why I quoted on the China statistics is probably all this material, whatever I got, is from the Chinese journals. So some of the, probably that is one reason now that everybody is telling that it's a lab generated virus. So many things are coming out. So they have come out of it, they have prevented, and they are not having any problems, whereas we are facing a lot of problems. We need to come out with a strategy to see that our mortality, morbidity, or entry or a prevention to be done. So that was the reason of, this is one of the strategy to see that how it helps. So we need to work on this strategy. Thank you for patience, please.
Dr. Rupashri?
Yes, sir.
Ah.
A very good afternoon to everyone. And I thank Dr. Shashibhushan sir for giving this talk on role of masking in minimizing the impact of third wave of COVID-19. So with regard to it, I would like to ask any participants if they have any queries, clarification. You can either post your question in the chat box, or you can directly ask clarification from the expert by hand raise. I would like to your comment on disposal of these masks, especially N95.
Hello.
Shashibhushan sir, can you hear me?
Yeah. This again, there is an agency which comes and picks up, which have their own strategy of disposable. Hypochlorite solution is used to dispose. But what we are our strategy is to see that it should be biodegradable. Once you bury it, it should get into the soil. So that is the strategy. Because you
Right.
don't know, everybody is throwing mask on the road. So there again, the infection starts. So that was the reason of this this thing. And
Right, sir.
hypochlorite solution again is what.
Okay. So apart from hypochlorite solution at home, sir, should they keep any separate bag or bin for
Yes, yes.
exposing the mask or any other such precautions which they can practice on day-to-day basis, sir?
Yes, yes, it should be kept separately. And for patients who are COVID positive and home isolation, this is what we advise. So
Right.
the disposable of the masks is very important.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Sir, apart from
There is
sodium
necessity to
hypochlorite,
collect, this.
can they use soap water to dip it and then store it, or any other alternative to sodium hypochlorite?
I lost.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Huh.
Yes, madam.
Sir, alternative to sodium hypochlorite, can they use detergent water?
Bleaching powder is alternative. You can go for a bleaching powder. Soap water is also fine, fair enough.
Right, sir. Okay. Gautam, please allow the person to ask the question.
I think he got the answer, madam.
Right, sir. So hopefully all were very clear with your speech. Sir.
And sir, unmute yourself and ask your question, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What's the opinion regarding the reusage of the mask after the washing? Nowadays, people are much discussing regarding this.
Yeah. When it comes to N95, actually in the initial days, last year probably, All India Institute of Medical Science of New Delhi had come out with a strategy of using mask every week. That is, say Monday, if you use this Monday, you can reuse it after next Monday by keeping it in the sun to dry it. Actually did not take well, but what this mask, what I have told about today's strategy is, these are reusable masks which can be washed up to 30 times. The nanofiber technology mask can be reused. You can wash it, use it for 8 hours, wash it again, reuse it. So that's how it is like.
Right, sir. Right. Sir, and nowadays many people are using double mask. They are using 2 masks. And I have seen people using 3-layered mask, upon that N95. And some people are using N95 upon that 3-layered. First thing is double masking is necessary? If so, what is the correct way of wearing the 2 masks?
Yeah, this was recently in one of the articles which says that double masking helps prevention of infection. So that was the reason everybody started wearing double mask. So they found out that prevention of the virus is helpful in double masking is helpful in prevention. So what we would suggest is wear a N95, or that you can wear a surgical mask or any other mask.
Yeah. And that surgical mask should be disposed every day.
Yes, you can dispose the N95 also.
So do we have any other questions from the participants? With your permission, we would like to hand over the mic to Dayanand, sir.
Okay. Good evening to one and all. Yes, it gives me pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks. And on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and Registrar, I thank the today's speaker, Dr. Shashi Bhushan, for his very important lecture on role of masking in minimizing the impact of third wave of COVID-19. And it was many of the people were having these doubts today. So what type of mask should be wear, and then how to dispose this mask and all. And you have clarified the doubts of the many people, Dr. Shashibhushan. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor and the Registrar, we thank you very much. And I thank the ECHO India for their collaboration with the RGHS for the conduct of this training program. And then I thank the officers of the RGHS, Dr. BJ Mahendra and Dr. Rupashri and Kirti and Somshekhar for their the cooperation to conduct this program. And I thank all the participants who have participated in this program. And I thank one and all. Thank you.
Dr. Rupashri, the next program on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you, Shashibhushan sir. Thank you, Mahendra sir and Mahendra sir and Dayanand sir. So next program will be on 29th of June, Tuesday at 3 p.m. The topic of the next program is Management of COVID-19 Pandemic through Ayurveda, a pragmatic approach and enhancing immunity through Ayurveda. Speakers of the talk will be Dr. Srinivas Vadayar, MD Ayurveda, a physician from Maitri Ayurvedalaya, Vijayapura. And the second speaker is Dr. Ravishankar Pervaje. He is a consultant surgeon, Shushruta Ayurveda Hospital, Puttur. So please do join for this program and make use of it. Thank you so much.
Gautam, you can close the meeting, please.
Okay, sir.